We're in a group chat one day, and I see on Fandango there's this movie called Upgrade. And I'm like, ooh, that actually looks cool. So then I go on IMDb and I look up the synopsis. And the synopsis says there's a man who gets involved in an accident where he becomes a paraplegic and loses his wife. So he has to get a technological enhancement in order to regain the activity of his limbs so he can go against the people that were responsible for him becoming a paraplegic and killing his wife in the first place. So I put in a group chat and I'm like, hey, do you guys want to go see this movie? And the group chat is quiet. So I'm like, okay. So then Maul comes in and he's like, hey, do you guys want to go see this movie? Action Point. I'm like, sure, we can go see it. I wanted to see if you guys wanted to see Upgrade. But yeah, let's go see Action Point. And so they're like, oh, what's Upgrade? And so I'm like, it's a movie about a man who gets in an accident, becomes a paraplegic, loses his wife, and he has to get a technological enhancement to regain the activity of his limbs, which he uses to go against the people who killed his wife and made him a paraplegic. Silence. They said nothing. So we went to Action Point. Bottom line, the movie was trash. And at one point in the movie, I get up on my seat to pretend like I'm walking out the theater. And they're like, what are you doing? And I turn around. And I tell them, we could have gone to see another movie that I really wanted to see. Welcome to the NerdSpice podcast, your one-stop shop where we take the hot, nerdy news and break it down, spice it up, and add a dash of commentary for your dining pleasure. As always, the servers of your 5-course meal are here today. Siah, also hosted by
Molly Maw, what's up?
Oscarp, hello.
You can find our Twitters at SiahJ_Andre.
At OPME1.
At Awkward King.
You want to spell that for him?
Oh, damn. It does have a U in it, doesn't it?
It's AKWURDKING.
What he said.
So yeah, you can find us there. And we have a good bit of news to go through. And so, before we get into that, how was you guys' week? Was it good? Pretty good?
Good. Yeah. Heard a lot of good news and stuff like that. Nervous about the podcast.
It's been a good week. I'm glad it's the weekend now. We're recording this on a Saturday, so...
Yeah, I'm glad it's the weekend, too. It's been a really long week.
We're also going to watch MI6 today, so...
Oh, yeah, Mission Impossible.
Episode preparation. Make sure you come in and check for that, too.
Yeah, so we're getting ready for that. But let's get right into it. So... The first one is more Wonder Woman 84 casting news. Natasha Rothwell, whose acting credits include HBO's Insecure and the 20th Century Fox movie Love, Simon, is joining Wonder Woman 84, which is, of course, directed by Patty Jenkins. And she has other writing credits, such as Saturday Night Live, and she's also a co-producer on Insecure, where she plays Kelly. I actually didn't know she was a co-producer.
Yeah.
So, the thing is, I'm excited because I think... You know, she's either going to play a comic relief. Wonder Woman 84. She's going to play the comic relief for the ditzy lady who falls when she's running with Wonder Woman, stuff like that. But she's still like efficient or something like that. Or is she looking for a more serious role? I don't know. I don't know if she's been in the acting scene as long. I've only seen her in Insecure and Love, Simon. So I don't know if she's at that stage where I played too much comedy. I want to do something more serious type, vibes.
Yeah.
But.
It's interesting because they have like Kristen Wiig playing Cheetah,
right.
And now they have Kelly from Insecure, who's like amazing.
Exactly.
But she is in Insecure, she's very comedy focused, and I really want to. And she writes for Saturday Night Live, so obviously you have these.
Oh really?
Yeah, she wrote for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, so you have these comedically focused actresses. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe she'll play like. That woman who was in the original Wonder Woman not the original, the first Wonder Woman, the British woman who was kind of helping her get dressed, and she was like with Chris Pine.
Right.
I forgot her name.
Her name escapes me for a minute.
Yeah.
Etta Candy.
Yeah. She was kind of like the comedic relief of that movie, and she was like efficient. She had a job, she had a purpose, but she was also kind of there to alleviate tension and kind of poke fun at what we were seeing on screen.
Right.
I think it can be a mix of both. She is in Insecure as Kelly. Kelly's actually one of my favorite characters. She's very funny. Not to spoil it, you should definitely check out Insecure if you haven't. It's on HBO. I believe it's only 16 episodes so far, divided between 2 seasons. But do you remember the episode when they went on the girls' trip and Issa was talking to Kelly and she was like, "Do you hear yourself?" And Kelly's like, "Yeah, I have a podcast."
I have a podcast. So, like, yeah, girl, I have a podcast. And she like turned and like drank or whatever.
Right.
Kelly's great.
And so Natasha Rothwell is very talented when it comes to the comedy. But I also think she can probably hit those dramatic elements. Like a lot of comedians were able to hit those dramatic elements when they came into different projects. Like Robin Williams or Jim Carrey. And, I mean, Kristen Wiig had to have done something in the audition in order to get Cheetah.
Yeah, she's had serious roles in the past with something about twins. I forgot.
Who, Kristen Wiig?
Yeah, she had a movie with another Saturday Night Live actor. I forget their names, but yeah, they've done serious roles. I just haven't seen Natasha in serious roles yet, but I'm excited for her.
Kelly played kind of like a serious role too in Love, Simon. I think at the end where everything calmed down, she kind of like got the guys in check who were making fun of Simon and stuff like that. And then she proceeded to joke afterwards, but I saw a little glimmer in there where it's like, you can play something serious. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a balance of both. I think she'll be good. I'm excited for her to be in there.
We don't have any casting details as far as like who she's going to play. I know Jordan wants Diana to have like a group of female friends in the movie.
Oh yeah.
So maybe she could be like a female friend, not something like Etta Candy, who was more connected to Chris Pine's character Steve Trevor, but maybe a character for Diana to go to if she needs advice, or maybe someone that's like
a woman empowerment scene with
either that or Diana. They're probably going to do that fish out of water element, and so well, maybe not, because she's been in Man's World since 1917. So maybe she
stayed in Man's World from World War I to 84.
Well, I'm assuming so, because I don't think she's gone back to the mascara since. I feel like she's been in Man's World for that time. She's just been like kind of undercover.
See, I thought she kind of hopped back and forth, because I thought she said she left Man's World in Batman vs. Superman. She said she left Man's World 100 years ago, which was World War I. But
I don't think so. So maybe she won't do the fish out of water thing that they did in the first movie.
Yeah.
But maybe Natasha Rothwell's character will be like, you're weird. You can't do this. This is the 80s. That kind of character that kind of gets the audience into the feel of the movie.
Yeah.
But also someone who's able to bounce off of Gal and provide a more comedic element towards the movie. So that's what I'm thinking.
I'm excited for it. Bring her in. Too. Let's go.
Our next bit of news, it's not the DC films kind of topic, but it's more DC TV shows. So we talked about Titans before, and I know we all have our opinions on Anna Diop playing Starfire. Just as a disclaimer, we have no issues with Anna Diop. We think she's a beautiful actress. She, of course, can act.
I think people just took this out of proportion. Like, whenever, like, even on, like, Twitter and stuff, or Facebook, when I was talking to people about it, they would like automatically assume that I was attacking her. I'm not attacking her in any form. I haven't seen her act. I personally don't know her.
Yeah.
But the costume team is my big thing. Now, of course, they said it's not what she's going to be wearing. As everybody should have heard by now. But I'm not attacking the fact that she's black or the fact she's it's not the main point here. The main point is how she looks. They're going for visual accuracy, but
I feel like that's one of the things that a lot of people had issues with going into the show, because they wanted to make sure that the characters at least look like the comic book counterparts. And I think that's very important when you're doing a show like that, especially if you're looking to get, an audience base for the movie or the TV show, whatever you're doing. You want to make sure that the characters at least look familiar, so when somebody goes in, they can look at that character and feel like they're watching something that they've had some experience with back in their childhood or things of that nature. But
it just comes off better. It's just more accuracy, more consistent.
Yeah. But the news in relation to Anna Diop is the recent announcement that she disabled her Instagram comments due to racist fodder.
Now, all of you, if you're listening, should be ashamed of yourself. If you know you played a hand in that.
If you had a hand in that.
Yeah.
Like, that's just crazy. Like
nobody
like going back a little bit, going back to the girl who played
Rose,
the girl who played
Tycho.
Rose in Star Wars.
Tran,
She disabled her stuff because you guys can't separate.
She deleted her entire Instagram.
Right, because people can't separate an actor from the actual person. Like, get real. Like, what's wrong with you guys?
And like I said before, I have no issue if Starfire was played by Anna Diop, who's a black actress, or if she was played by an Asian actress, Latino actress. It's not about the person themselves. It's about the character that they're portraying. And it's like I was talking about, when you're coming into a show, as an audience viewer, you want to make sure that you're able to see the character that you know, but also have a feeling that, you know, this is the character that you've come to grow up and understand and experience through other forms of media. But just in terms of that, I feel like it's very sad that she had to disable it.
Yeah. It just makes me want for her to kill it more. Like, kill this fucking role. You better own the girl.
Exactly. And it's not just the fact that she's a black woman, it's also the fact that she's a dark-skinned black woman. And like that adds another layer like on top.
Even within her own community, because you all know about that light-skin, dark-skin war.
Exactly.
So it's unnecessariness. Just let her do her. She probably has more money than all of you anyway. So just being real.
Even if she didn't have money, you know, it doesn't call for you to actually do something like that.
Like, even if she didn't do well as her role, let's say she messed up and she wasn't a very good actress, if that happens, which we don't even know yet because the show hasn't been released, these comments are totally uncalled for. They are attacking her for her race. They're not attacking her for the way she's acting, which is her job, and it's just a job that she decided to pick up. They're not attacking her for the character itself. They're attacking her over her race and the way she looks as the character.
Exactly.
You know, if they'd been criticizing, like, hey, I don't like the way you act, that's a whole other thing. But if they're saying, hey, I don't like the way you look, that gets personal, and that gets, you know, unnecessary in this realm.
Exactly. I guess our little summary on that, just be a good person. I know everybody feels entitled to, you know, their part of the comic book community, which is, it's fine. You know, you have a character that you get introduced to when you're young, or you have a movie that introduces you to this community. I think it's good to have a community because you're able to bounce off of people. That's the whole reason why.
Enjoy yourself. Stop trying to like demonize everything. I mean, it's not like this is a travesty, like, you know, Avatar: The Last Airbender. That movie go off, but this isn't. It's not called for. DC is trying to collect themselves so they could. I don't know if they're trying to aim for the level of Marvel, but I know they want to do what Marvel's doing. So just let them try. They haven't done anything good in a while, and we're finally getting some good content from them in terms of the live sphere. So shut the fuck up and watch their stuff and judge it based off of what you see, you know? I mean, you gotta have your runs.
Like, the whole point of this is, like, even if it is as bad as The Last Airbender, you hear people making fun of, like, the direction that movie took. They don't make fun of the race of the actors playing in that movie. You should never attack an actor for their race. You should attack them for their acting skills, or for whether or not they were actually good at their job, not for their race.
Right.
Even with attacking, though, I feel like there's a difference between criticism and outright vitriol. It's like you want to approach a topic respectfully, of course, because they are a human being. They have a life. They have things that they deal with that other people might not know about. Mm-hmm. But also, you don't want to show yourself in the way that you handle a situation or a way that you approach a situation.
Exactly.
Because if you actually come out here and you make these comments about a person just because of who they are, not because of what they're doing, what does that say about you? You know?
Exactly.
You don't want to come off as somebody that has like racist ideas, especially like sexist ideas. But that's pretty much the gist of it. We don't want to belabor the topic. I just felt like it was good to mention, especially because we just wanted to reinforce our standpoints in terms of like Anna Diop and Starfire.
Right.
We're giving the show a chance. I know the trailer probably didn't get a lot of people on board, especially with the scenes that they've shown us of Starfire so far. But it's 13 episodes. Right. A lot can happen in 13 episodes, and who knows? We may come out of the show loving it and wanting a season 2.
In a NerdSpice sense, don't spit on the food. Go to the cook. All right.
Yeah.
Don't go to the cook.
Don't
yell at the waitress for serving.
Don't yell at the waitress, yell at the cook, all right? The waitress is serving you the food. You judge the food, get on the cook, all right? I mean, put a little NerdSpice in your life, get your little card, put it on there. Like,
if you want to go to the manager, then
that's another
thing. You might need a phone number, but other than that,
Johns, no.
So that's what we wanted to talk about with Anna Diop. Moving on, we still have a good bit of DC stuff to cover. So this is another little appetizer that I wanted to get into.
Mozzarella sticks.
Ooh, yeah, or chicken fingers. So, if nobody's really familiar with Logan Marshall-Green, he is an actor, and the most recent project that he's been in that we've all seen is Upgrade. He played the main
takeover.
Permission granted.
Permission granted.
That movie, let me tell you, that movie was a ride.
So, yeah. And so the gist of Upgrade is pretty much it's set in a not so distant future where they have like technological advancements, but it's not like super heavy.
It's not overbearing. You know, they got automated cars and stuff like that.
Like Black
cars can
Mirror
be hacked.
in a sense.
Yeah,
like the setting. I mean,
it's not too far from where we are, but it's far enough where we can still use it as a type of sci-fi.
Yeah,
the movie did feel like a Black Mirror episode.
It
like
was. You didn't one of y'all say that? One of y'all said that in the theater. I felt like one of y'all.
I'm gonna claim credit for it. Then
this is like Black Mirror episode.
Well, I'll let to say the movie is set in the not so far future, and it's set around a husband and a wife. And the husband and wife get in an accident where the wife, unfortunately, is out of the picture. And the husband becomes a paraplegic. So he goes to a friend of his who helps him pretty much regain the activity of his limbs. But,
through an
upgrade. But, of course, all movies kind of take a turn for the worse or the darker. And so I'll just leave it at that because I want you to check out the movie if you haven't.
Please do.
It's really good. We went in not seeing any trailers.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even know.
We were thoroughly pleased. I'm not getting into that story.
Come on.
But like that was a really underrated movie that didn't get the promotion that it needed.
Don't go see Action Park though.
Oh my gosh.
It was my bad. It was so funny because you were so upset.
We could have
got up on his seat, he clapped his hands, he was just like
we could have seen Upgrade. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I put it in a group chat. And
what
I
is
said,
Upgrade?
Did you guys want to go see Upgrade? And y'all said, what the F is that? And I said, it's a movie about a man who becomes a paraplegic and loses his wife in an accident, and he has to get a technological advancement to regain the activity of his limbs so he can go against the killers that killed his wife and made him become a paraplegic.
We should have saw that. We really should have saw that because Action Point was not the business. It was not.
So that's the little tidbit for today. Now let's get back into it. So, Logan Marshall-Green, who was in Upgrade, has gone on Twitter to either start a campaign to become Mr. Miracle, or it's some type of coy Twitter exchange of something that's already happened. We just don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. So he's just shit posting Mr. Miracle stuff.
Either that, or it could be like, do you remember when Robert Downey Jr. went and asked the Marvel Twitter to push up Avengers Infinity War 1 week? And they were like, sure. But it was actually, they actually just did it.
Yeah.
And they tried to make it seem like he was just axing. It could be something like that.
Corny.
And so...
that is so corny.
And so in Logan's tweet, he says, I'm officially an unemployed actor, and I've already had my 15 minutes in the MCU. So I'm starting my own shameless campaign to play my favorite hero in the DCU. Hashtag Mr. Miracle at Ava. Now, if you don't know, Ava DuVernay, who directed Selma and recently did A Wrinkle in Time, is directing the upcoming New Gods film, which is in development right now. It doesn't have an official release date. But she replied to the tweet with a winking emoji and a gif of Logan pointing. To which Logan responds, "Not that scot-free production. Yours, ... winking emoji." So now his Twitter feed,
it's just
his Twitter feed is pretty much becoming a Mr. Miracle like.
So it's safe to say that more than likely these are like two officials going hand in hand for some campaigning. I'm 80% sure that this is what's coming out is really obvious.
He's gonna be Mr. Miracle. Like, it seems like they've either talked about it,
and he's played an action movie before through Upgrade, which you all need to go see. So I'm pretty sure he'll do good in this.
And when he says he was in the MCU for 15 minutes, he was literally in it for like 15 minutes. In Spider-Man: Homecoming, he played Shocker.
I'm actually surprised you remembered.
Yeah,
because not a lot of people remember that.
Yeah, because he like was there.
It was a very forgettable role, to be honest.
I remember him because I thought he was the guy who's Tom Hardy. I thought he was Tom Hardy for a second because he kind of looked like him. But, he was in there for a quick 15 minutes, literally, in Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then he, spoilers, he dies. But...
you gotta give him a chance. You can't say spoilers, he dies.
Spoilers, he dies. And now he's away from the MCU. So it would be interesting to have him play a big role in the DC, the worlds of DC, because it's no longer the DC universe or DC Cinematic Universe.
Well, I don't even know if that's official now.
Is it?
I don't know.
What's official?
So at Comic-Con, during the Warner Brothers panel, when it got to the DC portion of that panel, they had a banner that said, "Welcome to the worlds of DC." So a lot of news reporters were running with that, saying that it's officially rebranded as the worlds of DC. A lot of people on Twitter are like, I'm not calling it that. I'm still calling it the DCEU, or DC Extended Universe, which... even that is still an unofficial title because it never got a title. Yeah. People just started calling that after some news article came out.
It's just DC.
I like DCEU. I also like DC Films because I feel like it rolls off the tongue better instead of Worlds of DC. But either way. So, what were you saying again?
Oh, I was saying he showed himself to be a very capable actor in Upgrade and very capable, in an action movie.
What else did he play in? Besides Upgrade?
I'm not sure. The only thing I'm familiar with him is Upgrade and Spider-Man: Homecoming. Yeah. But even then, I didn't even know he was in Spider-Man: Homecoming until I looked up his Wikipedia and looked at his filmography. Like, I don't know. And so...
Oh, he was in Prometheus as well.
He was in Prometheus?
Yeah. He was the husband of the main character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was the catalyst.
Invitation, Damnation, don't know.
Oh, Invitation was another. It was okay. It wasn't great, but he was also a main character in that movie. So I think he can hold his own in a DC universe film.
Oh yeah,
he was in Snowden,
and he can definitely be.
Oh, he's in
a superhero.
He's in The Sandcastle with Nicholas Hoult and Henry Cavill, the movie on Netflix that I was supposed to watch. I'm still gonna watch it, but he was in that. So yeah, he could be Mr. Miracle in the New Gods. So if you're not familiar with Mr. Miracle or the New Gods mythology, it was made by Jack Kirby, and Jack Kirby is a prolific creator for Marvel and DC in general. So the whole thing with Mr. Miracle is he's the son of Highfather, but he was traded at birth with Orion, who's the son of Darkseid. And it was pretty much a treaty for New Genesis and Apocalypse to end the warring between them. So he's a son of Highfather. So he's originally from New Genesis, but he grows up on Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. And he's taken by Granny Goodness to pretty much just become trained as a soldier.
Granny Goodness.
And that's where he meets Big Barda. And so... I guess with that, that's pretty much like the Tom King interpretation. Tom King's currently writing a 12-issue Mr. Miracle run, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Where is it at right now?
What do you mean?
Has he wrote it yet?
Yeah. Oh. You can get it. It's like on Comixology.
It's over. Okay.
Yeah, that's where you're able to go get it. But that run's pretty cool. I like it so far. I can't wait till it's finished so I can actually get like a trade paperback of it. So that's the most I've ever been encountered with Mr. Miracle. Like, that's the most I've ever...
The New Gods is an interesting timeline. I only read it once, and that was a while ago. But...
yeah. He's also been in the Justice League cartoon. I forget the episode, but I know it's an episode where they actually go to New Genesis.
I'm not even going to try to remember.
It was in like season 1 or season 2. I want to say season 2 probably.
Because the New Gods was introduced in fucking 1971. It just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1971. I remember reading about it like briefly, but I never really. I don't remember it. Like I focused a lot on Marvel's Celestial Universe.
Yeah.
Marvel's Celestials. I don't know if they're more interesting to me than DC because I don't remember it, but
that's why I'm really excited to see what Ava does because I haven't seen A Wrinkle in Time. I know it's gotten pretty bad reviews.
It's gotten mixed reviews.
It's gotten
I wouldn't
mixed
say it was
reviews.
like bad. It was just
the stuff I've seen, a lot of
it
it has been negative.
Yeah.
You get a car. You get a time travel.
I do know that at least in the trailers, I like the visuals for A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
So it won't be the same visuals for New Gods, obviously. New Gods is a little darker.
Yeah, it's way darker than A Wrinkle in Time.
I know a lot of people are not on like the Zack Snyder train, but I think it would have been interesting to see him at least produce it at some point.
Zack Snyder?
Yeah, he did 300. And that's
yeah.
When I think 300, that's what I think for New Gods. Well, Apocalypse at least. Like I think it's something that's like really epic, grand scale.
Okay.
But also something that's like historic feeling. And he was supposed to have tidbits, or at least Easter eggs, of the New Gods in Justice League. Like, we were supposed to get a scene. The scene where Steppenwolf gets carried away by the boom tube, we were supposed to get a scene where he encounters Darkseid.
Oh.
We were supposed to get that. And
so
that's...
I know they weren't ready on the CGI scale for that, because I wasn't approved.
Well, I mean, they could have been if they didn't butcher it. But, so
we all know how Justice League turned out.
So we could have gotten something in terms of the New Gods and Apocalypse.
As a whole.
I mean, they are.
They're going to get better over time, because we all remember Iron Man 3. We all remember
Iron Man 3.
That was
Iron
well
Man
into
3
the universe, though.
Followed Phase 1. We got that after Avengers.
Thor
so
1.
It wasn't necessarily the same.
The first Thor.
Yeah, but now we have Thor Ragnarok, and everybody loves that.
Yeah. So, let them grow. I think they'll get better over time.
Yeah.
Like anything else.
Speaking of Marvel stuff, we actually have an Avengers 4 theory, and this one's related to the Infinity Stones featurette. So the theory is coming from Digital Spy, and I took a quote. It says, one theory is that time travel will be involved in Avengers 4, and another relates to the Soul Stone. Infinity War offered a glimpse of a young Gamora inside the stone. Could the other dead be locked in there as well? So as we know, at the end of Infinity War, a lot of the heroes started becoming dust. Like they were poofing.
They got snapped.
They got snapped. And so a lot of people, we all realize they're not dead because they're snapped. They can easily come back. But that's a theory. So could they be in the realm where the young Gamora is?
I think... Because, like, it seems like a lot of people are split between how the heroes are going to come back to life, because everybody knows that they're going to come back to life, obviously. Tom Holland has already said that Spider-Man 2 is coming out Far From Home.
It's a Marvel film, too, so you can go off the back of that. Yeah. They don't let anyone die.
Like, superhero comics in general, people die all the time and come back to life. Jean Grey, she's died, like, a million times.
The target audience is children.
Yeah.
And for children, just imagine them crying off your movie because you didn't bring their hero back to life. Nobody wants that.
Exactly.
They want to see their hero retire.
You just go off the back of common sense. But...
Yeah, and so that's pretty much the theory that came from Digital Spy. There was actually another theory on, I want to say it's a fan theories subreddit.
Yeah, it's on the fan theories subreddit. So, there's basically two camps on how the heroes are going to come back. The first one is on the Soul Stone. In the Soul Stone, they're just going to either snap his fingers again or something. The heroes are going to be released from the Soul Stone. Or through the use of time travel. So the theory kind of goes into how Doctor Strange used the Time Stone during his fight with Thanos, and Thanos was kind of like, you didn't even use your greatest weapon, and Doctor Strange pulled the Time Stone out of seemingly nowhere, and people were wondering why when he pulled the Time Stone out, the Time Stone was glowing, and it looked like it'd been used, and not just during his time looking into the future to see the different possibilities. So there's a theory that Doctor Strange actually sent the Time Stone into the future to a point immediately after the snap, and basically gave the time stone to either Tony Stark, who was probably smart enough to know how to handle the time stone, since he handled the Mind Stone with Vision, or just, send that time stone into the future, where the future Avengers, maybe even Captain Marvel, might be able to use the time stone. Who knows? But anyway, the theory goes that the time stone was sent into the future, into Avengers 4, and then that's how they go back in time, basically, to the setting of the original Avengers, because there have been set photos of them in their original costumes from Avengers 1, and hopefully prevent Thanos from even getting all the stones or somehow destroying the gauntlet. And the theory goes really in depth as into like details that might connect to this, including why the gauntlet got destroyed after a snap, but it didn't get destroyed after using the rest of the Infinity Stones. Like, why specifically during this event did it get broken, and maybe it had to do with the time stone existing in a paradox. But yeah, that's an interesting theory on how they can either prevent Thanos from getting to the last stones, or maybe it'll have to do with the Soul Stone as well. Like, maybe they'll they'll learn better, they'll know how to fight Thanos better, and they'll actually come together as the Avengers, and it won't just be like what happened in Infinity War, where they had separate battles in different places, and they were each like facing different people at the same time. They'll all come together and hopefully defeat Thanos in Avengers 4.
Does Doctor Strange know about Carol?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so, but the theory is like somebody's going to be able to use the time stone.
If he saw all of those,
yeah.
First of all, do you remember who that theory was by?
No, it was by someone on Reddit. We'll post a link to the original theory.
We'll definitely post the link. Sorry we don't have your name on hand, but whoever you are, shout out to you for that theory. But like we said, we'll definitely put it in the show notes because it's a good theory to just go over. I'm a fan of fan theories, especially for things that are interesting or popular. And so I think, I don't know. Oh, who was it?
The Reddit user who posted it was LOL Guru, so that's LOL hyphen Guru, Guru.
Yeah, so shout out to you. Definitely that theory was it was very detailed, and I think you should definitely give it a read. As far as Doctor Strange knowing Carol, do you think
he saw the possibilities?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like
in it?
He saw the possibilities. It was 14,000,005 possibilities. and he said,
you have a flat screen time.
He's got the time stone. He's got all the time in the universe to watch all these possibilities.
Only one works.
He said only one works.
So why wouldn't he activate that one possibility?
That's what I'm saying. So maybe in that possibility, he used the time stone to send it back to that possibility, and then when Thanos came back, he brought it back and gave it to Thanos.
Yeah.
And that actually shows like the power of Doctor Strange in MCU at least. Like,
no, he's strong, man.
He's gotten so strong, and it's like
he defeated
Shadow
Dormammu, and the rest of the
Avengers
made
him rage quit. That's all. He made him rage quit.
He didn't even know Dormammu was a threat.
Dormammu literally just submitted out of anger.
He was like, "Oh, fine. I guess you can save your little planet or whatever."
And so, even if that theory doesn't come out to play, I think it's very interesting in a sense that Doctor Strange is able to see all those possibilities, but also to see that one, to know to send the time stone there. Maybe he didn't have the whole plan, but maybe he figured if I at least send the stone, they'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that was actually pretty cool.
He trusts Tony Stark, definitely. Yeah. That's why, that's why Doctor Strange gave the time stone to Thanos in the first place, was to kind of save Tony Stark's life.
Right.
And he said, this is the only way, or something, along those lines. So clearly Tony Stark plays a huge part in this, and he's been the only person we've seen so far who can... He used the Mind Stone to create Vision, and I think... maybe Shuri might be able to help, because she's definitely held her own. Yeah. She was able to nearly take that Mind Stone out of Vision. So, he definitely trusts that they'll know what to do with the Time Stone if he sends it to them.
Exactly.
And you said you did see them on set with their original costumes.
Yeah, there were behind-the-scene photos of them on set for Avengers 4 in their original Avengers costumes.
They're going to take it back. It has to be the Time Stone, because why else would they be?
And also Paul Rudd, who plays Scott Lang, Ant-Man, was also on set. So I figure once we get into Avengers 4, Tony's going to have the stone, and then at some point he's going to figure out, where Ant-Man is and things like that.
Free
come
him
back
from
and
the
fight.
quantum realm.
Right. And so
Spoilers for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right, I forgot. Dang. That makes me excited for Avengers 4. Just to see where it goes and to see how everything wraps up. I know Kevin Feige was saying that this is going to be a closing chapter for their first 3 phases. So, whichever way it goes, whichever direction it takes,
very good.
I mean,
DC's coming for that neck. I'm telling you.
DC has to release these next 3 movies. Have to be amazing.
For
people to really get behind.
Have to be.
I'm really excited for Aquaman. I think that's going to blow everybody away.
Yeah. And so our next bit of news is coming from DC. It's going back into the film side. We're looking at some more Shazam news. I know we got the trailer during Comic-Con, but according to an article from Screen Rant, apparently in Shazam has a lot of Easter eggs, like in that one scene with Billy and his foster brother, Freddy. There's like Easter eggs to Batman v Superman and Man of Steel and Justice League because Freddy's wearing an Aquaman t-shirt. So that at least tells you that it's after all those events that transpired. Yeah. But apparently, in some of those Easter eggs and in those newspaper clippings, there's little hints of things that could have happened in Justice League, but we're not necessarily sure if it did. And so, pretty much, there's a part of a newspaper that's saying that Lex Luthor is the one that's to blame for everything that's happened in Justice League. And so, from Screen Rant, there's a quote that says, "One of Freddy's prized possessions is a framed copy of the Daily Planet boasting the headline, 'Superman is back.' It's a very compelling Easter egg because his weekend edition of the Planet is a composite of articles describing the events of Zack Snyder's films. However, the text is the really fascinating part. In the sidebar underneath Alien Attack on the World and Russia Cleans Up, it reads, 'The top suspect. As a worldwide search begins for those responsible, specialists say early signs point to Lex Luthor and his associates.'" And then there's another quote that's coming from there that says, "Finally, while it may seem unfair to blame Luthor for the invasion when he had no actual hand in it that fans know of, this could be the strategy on the part of the League. It puts the evil billionaire and his malevolent allies on notice that the heroes are on to them." And so that's pretty much tying back into Justice League and Lex Luthor. Of course, he escaped, and then you get the post-credit scene where he's on the yacht. And we also get that confrontation between him and Deathstroke, where Lex says, maybe we should form a league of our own. Now, there's been either a report or a rumor that says that current Legion of Doom development is coming to like a standstill. And so they may not have the Legion of Doom actually appear in a movie for a while now. Yeah, I mean, you never know what can happen. Things can change. And I think they're doing that because they want to focus on the solo movies at first, the movies they have developing
that makes sense because they want to build a basis for their universe. They don't want to just throw these different concepts at you.
Right.
And like, who the fuck is that? Like, you want your stars, Wonder Woman, you want Superman.
Right. And even though I think it could work because they already have Lex Luthor, they have Deathstroke, we're getting Cheetah in Wonder Woman 84, we're getting Black Manta and Aquaman. And if we get the Flash movie before the next Justice League movie, maybe we could get something like Captain Cold. Yeah. Or I don't know if they'll use Reverse Flash. He's a little too powerful.
No, not right.
Yeah. And so they could build up to a Legion of Doom movie, or at least a Justice League movie with the Legion of Doom as the main antagonist. But we don't know yet. And so, Oscarp, I know you like thinking of theories and story stuff. So what do you think about that?
I'm thinking about, why didn't they just confirm that Lex Luthor was behind it? Because I'm hearing this and I'm thinking like, yeah, obviously he was behind it.
Who else could it be?
Because like in Batman vs Superman, there was a scene with him like pulling up the mother cubes and the vision of this giant celestial being, which could either be Darkseid, which is connected to the events of Justice League. Obviously, the whole point of the Justice League movie was about mother cubes, and there was a deleted scene in Batman vs Superman, and I distinctly remember thinking, oh, this is leading up into Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched it in the director's cut, and I don't think it was in the theatrical cut, so...
Not the one where the SWAT team goes into the ship.
Yeah.
And sees him with Steppenwolf, not that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it does make sense for Lex Luthor to at least be tied to it.
Yeah. I thought that was the whole point of that scene, was just to make sure everybody knows Lex Luthor is still behind this kind of stuff. And then he told Batman, they're coming.
A lot of people probably don't realize that because it wasn't in the theatrical cut.
Yeah, and they probably didn't care enough to look
and I think if you put it in the theatrical cut, people would at least be able to remember or reflect on that happening. So when Justice League does roll around, there could be a news article that says Lex Luthor found in Kryptonian ship, Lex Luthor messing around with like alien technology. Maybe he's the one that's behind the reason why they're coming in the first place.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. Maybe if we got the full Justice League vision, there could have been ties to that. We won't know, of course, but it could have been. And I think it does make sense to put that in Shazam, because if Shazam is actually after everything else that's transpired, then you're going to get newspapers of things that have happened after the movie.
Yeah, of course.
And so, do you have any more comments on them all, or are you good?
No, I have summed it up. I mean, I just thought Lex Luthor, they haven't really introduced any new villains besides Steppenwolf, and he was obviously defeated in Justice League, but Lex Luthor's pretty much the only villain they've introduced, so I'm pretty sure that's really only going to be the only person that's responsible for most of the stuff that's happening.
Ares, Wonder Woman.
Where is he at?
He's got poofed.
Yeah, poofed. I mean, Lex Luthor's the only one who's still alive. Left him in a jail cell saying, they're coming, the bells are ringing,
Yeah, and that left everybody confused, like, what the fuck is he talking about? It would leave a lot of people
confused, and if people got the theatrical view, I'm guessing the reason why they didn't was because, they're still trying to play for the crowd, trying to play with the crowd rather than some people like us. Like, of course I would love to see the director's cut inside the theaters, but it never plays out that way, but... Nah, I think, Lex Luthor would be behind most things because he's the villain that's still active. Right. I should say so. Just makes sense.
The Screen Rant article does take note, even though we have all these theories and even though we can come up with stuff like this, it is still a prop. And a lot of movie props, they can have little Easter eggs like this, but sometimes it is just an Easter egg. Like, it doesn't really lead to anything. Right. Like, I remember... in Batman v Superman, there was an Easter egg when Batman went to pretty much the place where he went to go fight Superman. On one of the pillars, there was a question mark to kind of represent the Riddler. Yeah, and so not saying that was, an Easter egg for things to come in the future, but it was just something to probably put there.
Just like,
they have done a Riddler movie. I had to think about it. It's really old, though.
Yeah, and so...
that would be a nice, little retreat from the Joker. The Riddler used to give Batman, still gives Batman a run for his money.
Well, I mean, as far as the Riddler, we know the Fox X-Men movies are going to eventually be coming to an end. And so Jordan was fan casting Fassbender and McAvoy.
For the Riddler?
Well, I said McAvoy for the Riddler and Fassbender for Sinestro.
I like that better than it reversed.
No, I wasn't thinking the other way around. Yeah. Because Fassbender's that type of actor. He needs something like really grand scale. Yeah. But McAvoy, not saying McAvoy doesn't need anything grand scale.
He would do. Look at McAvoy's Split with that Shyamalan. He would play anything.
Well, yeah, McAvoy
he would play it well.
McAvoy's like he's like the more indie silent, indie, chill, personal type of
let's do it type guy.
Yeah, I think that would actually be cool. But sticking along to the Shazam news, there's details that came out for Dr. Sivana, who is the mystery villain. And so the quote says, the film's version of Sivana also encountered the wizard as a kid, but he was rejected to receive his powers. And if you remember, the wizard is the one in the trailer that told Billy to say Shazam, and he would get the powers bestowed upon him. So, continuing the quote, ever since then, Sivana has spent his life searching for a way to gain the abilities that Billy now possesses, in a desire to live up to the expectations of a domineering father. And then we also have quotes from David Sandberg, who's also directing the movie, And David Sandberg says, Mark Strong loves being a bad guy. And it's not just him. Really, it's something else that lent him his powers. He can do some things that Shazam can't. The danger in some films is the bad guy that has the powers, the same powers as the good guy. Savannah has an extra thing, extra dynamic that takes care of that.
Okay, cool.
So, a lot of people are thinking, could that be Black Adam? Because even though we're not getting Black Adam in this movie, maybe Savannah...
A spiritual Black Adam.
Maybe.
Like a lead up to it.
A lead up to it. So maybe Savannah is the one that's getting the power. So I guess a connection or a similarity to that would be Loki in Avengers 1.
Yeah.
Leading into Thanos eventually. So maybe something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. I know
it gets people's feet wet, doesn't give them the big main guy in a sense. So when they get their Shazam 2, if it does well, which I think it will, then they can just go ahead and show Black Adam, like, look at Savannah and look at Black Adam.
right. And I know Black Adam's movie is going to get made eventually. Dwayne Johnson is going to make sure of that.
What the hell are they going to do with that movie?
I don't know, but maybe Black Adam gave Savannah the powers, and Savannah used those powers to create the 7 Deadly Sins.
So, okay.
I
thought you were gonna play like a Shazam shadowing type movie where you get scenes from Shazam, but he's in the background like.
Oh no!
I was hoping they wouldn't do
I would
anything
not
like that.
enjoy that.
Yeah.
I don't want Savannah. I don't want Black Adam to give some powers to Savannah just so that Savannah could fight Shazam, because then
there's got to be another reason.
Because then if you get a sequel. And so it'll be like, oh, Shazam versus Savannah, the first movie, and then Shazam versus Black Adam, the second movie. Like, it'll get boring after a while.
Yeah.
So if Savannah uses those powers to create real versions of the 7 Deadly Sins, then I can definitely see that. Especially since they casted older people to play other members of the Marvel family. Or the Shazamily, as they said. Well, they can't say Captain Marvel anymore.
Yeah.
So you can't call it the Marvel family. So I don't know how they're going to do that.
Yes, you can. Do what you want to do. We don't care about Marvel.
Unless they want to. We do.
Disney's going to come knocking on your door.
Disney already filed a lawsuit. It's in my pocket.
Well, they might file another lawsuit if they do use the Marvel family.
They're going to buy DC. They already bought Fox.
Oh my god.
They're like, we're coming for you next.
That's an episode we can do.
That would be so cool.
If Disney
bought
crossover fights, bitch.
I'm thinking about their theme parks would be awesome.
You talk about theme parks. I've never been to Disney World.
Yeah. So that's all the Shazam news, pretty much. So now we're actually getting into the last leg of the podcast. There wasn't that much news, to be honest.
Time for dessert.
Well, this is actually the full course meal now.
What's dessert?
What's dessert?
We ain't getting no dessert because you're going to be too full.
We'll think about it. So, before we get into the main chorus, let's talk about Titans again. So, apparently it's a rumor that the Titans season might drop all of the episodes at once.
Netflix style.
Instead of weekly. And that's coming from Heroic Hollywood.
Are you guys sure you want to do that? Because it just came out.
It's
streaming
like,
service is going to feel like I have nothing to watch.
Like, Netflix definitely spoiled me in that sense because...
They didn't start off like that, though, right?
Like, I don't...
With
their originals?
Well, their original,
yeah.
All their originals came out like that?
Yeah, like...
Because I remember House of Cards doing it around one of the first seasons or one of the first series to do that.
Well because Netflix, all Netflix had was just content that they purchased licenses to.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they had all the shows. But Netflix was like, hey, for our first original... Why don't we just drop it all at once?
Yeah, they've never done anything like by episode.
Nothing's ever all. Yeah.
Well, they do have some originals that release a new episode every week, but these are like
they're more like the live
shows.
Action, like the I forgot what it's called, but the one with Jerry Seinfeld, is it?
Yeah, comedians in cars.
Yeah, I think that drops like every month or so.
Joel McHale.
Yeah, they have some stand-ups like that too.
Show.
But like
most of their originals are all at once.
Yeah,
I think if DC, I would like because. I mean, you get hype for Netflix shows, but it's not like, oh my god, I can't wait for the next episode. Like, just for instance, Hero Academia. I'm ready for this. I've been ready for this for a week. There's a certain suspense that you get.
I love that show so much.
There's a certain suspense you get out of having things released periodically.
Yeah.
You know, and if you want your streaming service to be heard about, be known, or something like that, you want to build on it. You don't want
Yeah.
to just release everything. Everybody's going to binge it. Maybe
in one night, and then
I hate to say it, but
And that's what Hulu did. One of the shows Hulu put out was Marvel's Runaways.
yeah,
It was a really good show. I liked
that
it.
show. It was
But
good.
one of the reasons why I think it worked so well was because they released it on a weekly schedule. And even though I like binging, that can get intimidating.
Yeah.
Because then if you get all episodes at once, like 13, so it's like, okay, am I going to sit here and
do that
watch
in a day.
all 13 episodes in one day? Or am I going to break it up?
Yeah.
Am I going to watch like 3 episodes now and then come back to it later? I think with weekly, okay, I'm watching 1 episode. I have to wait a whole week. It might hurt, but at least I know I'll get the next episode.
You'll get judged quicker. Trust me, if you release them all at once. But I mean,
you will, and I think that's kind of.
I don't know which one I want more.
Yeah. I think Netflix definitely spoiled me in the sense that now I'm expecting everybody to drop their things all at once. Like HBO, they have their new show Sharp Objects, which I am in love with, and
It's really good.
I heard about it and then they dropped it, and I was like, "There's only 1 episode. Where's the rest?" I was like
flabbergasted.
Yeah, I was so confused. I was like,
how
this
dare
is how
you.
this is how TV works.
Yeah.
But what I will say about dropping your episodes weekly instead of all at once in one day is that it does build that kind of atmosphere, and you are in the world a little bit longer. So like you release a really good episode and you're just thinking about it for the whole week. You're thinking about the details, and you might actually rewatch that episode. So you are building that sense of you're marinating. You're
building suspense for your platform, for your streaming service, which is what you need, because it's another streaming service. We need you to build up to this.
Yeah.
I want people to want to invest money in your streaming service because I want you to beat Marvel, just for the sake of argument's sake. I kind of want you to give Marvel a run for their money. That's it.
Competition builds better.
Because DC has a lot of good characters. And a Swamp Thing.
And beat Marvel, because Marvel will come back and give us something better.
Better, yeah.
I want them to beat each other. I want them, not in a bad way, in a way that's like, okay, now you need now you need to come out with something that's
the
like
whole point
amazing.
of competition.
Deeper, dark, non-competitive like topics and plots and stuff like that. Marvel will be like, whoa, maybe people are loving this. Maybe jokey is the way to go all the time. Let's make something a little serious,
Yeah. And I mean, you look at it now, that's why they came out with Daredevil, and that's why it worked so well. Yeah. Because it was different. And of course you have the movies. The movies are more family oriented, more entertainment and humor wise. But then you have Daredevil that still has its funny moments, but it's not like in your face. This was more of a serious show when it came out. And because Netflix dropped all the episodes at once, it forced you to get into the world of Matt Murdock.
Right.
Yeah. And it was just something different. It was new for Marvel at that time, too.
Even Jessica Jones had a darker theme toned about it. Like,
right.
She was kind of in the middle as far as comparing her to Daredevil. But there was definitely a serious tone there. She was very serious. Yeah. There were serious tones, especially in the second season with her mother. There was just a lot going on in that episode. And, it's a little darker. That's why Daredevil and Jessica Jones are probably the best reviewed ones out of the 4 that they've done.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if DC does well, Marvel will hopefully step their game up, and then DC will step their game up, and then we end up winning as an audience because we get better products through this competition.
Exactly.
And they're gonna actually care about what they're putting out. If DC didn't exist, Marvel would get real comfortable, and they would probably just be releasing mediocre, passable movies without caring about what other people think, because they're the only superhero.
It's like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B.
A little bit. That's a weighted topic, though.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go depth into them, but
yeah. So I think, in my opinion, as far as Titans, it can go either way. Because if they release the show weekly, the pilot has to be in a position that it makes you want to come back to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, if the pilot is bad and they release the show altogether, now you're like, do I want to finish the show? I didn't really like the pilot. Maybe I should give episode 2 a chance. But then say episode 2 doesn't really hit like that for you. So now you're like, do I want to finish it? It's the plight of the consumer. It's like, do you want instant gratification, or do you want something that kind of builds up over time? I feel like with certain shows, binging works. With other shows, weekly works. Like with Sharp Objects, I can't binge that. Because Sharp Objects is very weighted. You need those 7 days to kind of like unwind
and you need
and
to
get yourself ready.
That
you got to process.
I think Teen Titans. I think it could go either
Titans.
way. Or Titans. Sorry,
They're
nostalgia.
not
Teen, 2.5 Titans.
Jesus.
But I think it could go either way. I think I'll be okay with either way because I think people are going to want to watch the whole thing so they can judge it accordingly. Because this is DC, doesn't have a lot of content out, so you're gonna rush at the content that they do put out. You're gonna go and you're gonna want to know what's gonna happen next. People aren't gonna most say like, this is shit. I'm not watching the rest of it. It's all they got, so you're gonna have to watch it.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's not all they got. That's all the new stuff they got.
Well, yeah,
they
all
still
the new
have
stuff.
all the.
Or you're probably gonna check out the new stuff first before you get into the old stuff. Like,
I'm definitely gonna have a movie day where I just watch my favorite animated movies.
Right, like I know when DC Universe actually does come out, I'm gonna check out the new stuff that they have, and then once I get my fill, I'll be like, okay, let me go back and watch some of the old stuff.
The old animated movies? Or you talking just old stuff?
Just all the animated movies they have.
All the animated movies.
Yeah.
Like I know
they're all great.
I know when DC Universe comes out, I'm ready to properly binge Teen Titans.
Because it's all in one location.
Because it's in one location. It's convenient. I'm just ready for it.
And they give you, oh man, yeah, I'm ready for that.
Well, it's funny we actually touched on DC Universe because this is the last story for the podcast, but it's actually it's very detailed, and so I'll go through it as much as we can. So this is coming from IGN, and they released more details about the DC Universe. So we'll talk about some of the stuff, and then whenever we want to speak up, we can just get into it.
Yeah.
So the first thing we can talk about, and this is a quote, it says, DC Universe, which will only be available in the United States at launch, will have a yearly membership fee of $74.99 plus state tax, if applicable.
Excuse?
Which, yeah, so state tax. But monthly memberships will be available at the launch at $7.99 a month. Fans who pre-order an annual membership pass before the service's debut will also get 3 months free.
I'm definitely getting the $75 one. Now, I know it's not fit for everybody else.
Yeah.
Do what you can. But as far as my situation is concerned, I think the $75 package will be way worth my... I don't have to worry about it for a year and 3 months.
You calculated it. So how much is it?
So
it's definitely way more if you buy it monthly.
If you buy it monthly, $7.99 a month plus tax is around $95 a year.
So you're probably going to be paying like close to $100.
Yeah, if you do it monthly.
For monthly than you would for...
Because it's like PlayStation Plus subscription.
You really need to think about
instead of 80 something.
Yeah, is this a service you see yourself keeping for a year, or maybe you just want to hop in 1 month and then just let it, watch all your DC Universe stuff in that 1 month, and then for the rest of the year you don't really need it. Maybe during the summer when you have time, you can just watch whatever you want and get that month subscription. I think that's, if you can jump in and out like that, that'd be pretty cool.
There are so many animated movies though that I'd love to watch. I'm gonna be in that shit.
Year long, yeah.
Yeah. Give me some Apocalypse. Goddamn, like come on.
At first I said I would do monthly, but I probably will do annual, just because it's at one time.
You can read comics too, right?
Yeah.
I'm in there. Nah, I'm definitely getting that year.
Right. And I think a lot of people get turned off by annual because it's such a large price.
Like,
but it's only at one time.
Price, but they don't see the $95. They just see $7.99 a month or $74 right now.
You don't got to worry about it coming out because when you look at your bank statement and Gabs, you're like,
I know.
Oh my god!
I remember that one time Netflix hit me, and I was like, man, like what? It's that time again. Or it's like when I had PS Plus. I think they gave me like a 2-week trial, and I didn't do anything in those 2 weeks. So then they were like, "Oh, $9.99." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "What is this?" I haven't done anything yet. So yeah, I'll probably do annual. I think annual, for some people, if you can do it, it's good.
Yeah.
Either way, you're getting great content.
Always budget it.
Yeah, just budget it.
Just make sure you're not like overspending what you don't have.
Right. And I think annual is good because once you get it, that's it.
You don't have to
get charged
worry
for
about
a whole nother 365 days.
Yeah, a year and 3 months, you don't have to worry about getting charged. Yeah, and you can cancel it, but you still get that year. So you won't even get charged after your year is up. They'll let you know, I'm sure.
So you get 15 months free. Pretty much.
If you pre-order.
If you pre-order, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's for the year, but if you pre-order, you get the 3 months.
I already
extra.
pre-ordered.
And
I want to get into that beta.
Yeah, you just have to put in your email.
I did. I hope I get into it.
I mean,
only choosing a selected amount of people.
Jordan and I did it the first day it came out.
Yeah.
Like as soon as it came out.
oh, and what are the release schedules for their movies looking like? Because it looks like it's on a monthly basis. They have new movies coming out.
I'm not sure, but let's see what they say. So in another quote, they said, in addition to including Batman the Animated Series, Wonder Woman 77, Superman 1-4. 1 and 2 were pretty good. 3 and 4, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and Batman Ninja, amongst many others.
How you gonna release the Batman Ninja and make it United States only? Come on.
And along with that, plus the DC originals like Titans, Young Justice, and Swamp Thing, DC announced that Batman Beyond, the Justice League animated series, and Batman the Brave and the Bold will also be available on the service at launch.
Brave and Bold,
with deals from more beloved proproductions still in
Wait,
the works.
what?
Yeah.
With deals?
From more beloved properties still in the works.
What does that mean?
I'm not necessarily sure.
Are we paying for something while we have the subscription?
Oh,
I don't have time for that.
I thought it was
I'm
more like
thinking
deals with creators.
With
to
creators
make more
and
properties.
other properties.
Yeah,
All right, because
well, another thing.
I hope they don't have like a Batman package. You want to watch just
DLC?
Batman
Oh
movie?
no,
Yeah.
no.
let's keep my DLC out of my TLC.
I know.
I was trying to rhyme. I don't know what that means.
I do know another thing that they're going to have. So you're going to be able to watch movies and TV shows. You're going to be able to read comics.
Yeah.
But they're going to have a separate, like, online store set up. So I know they have action figures for the Justice League cartoon drawn characters coming out.
I'll take a T-shirt though.
I would probably get the Wally West Flash. He's my favorite, so I like him. But they just have stuff coming out like statues and stuff. So if you want to, merch. They have merchandise, and so I think that would be pretty cool. Another thing that they have, it says one of the most unique aspects of DC Universe is the ability to read comics in an entirely new way. In addition to page-by-page and panel-by-panel viewing, as seen on apps like Comixology, the service will allow viewers to autoplay a comic, setting it to cycle through each panel at a time interval so that the user can watch the story unfold in a similar way to watching a movie or a series.
I see you, DC.
I love that. Yes.
I see you.
Get out of here.
I'm ready for it, man.
It's been cut.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Yeah, don't cut that.
But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean
that is amazing.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't always like clicking through.
They need to add
if I'm
some
reading
sound
like a
effects
comic, but also some people read comics quicker, some people don't.
Yeah.
So if you spend a good amount of time on a panel, it'll autoplay for you. I think that's really cool, especially if you watch it or view it, I should say, on the app. The app can do it for you.
It'll feel more cinematic. I think.
Will the app translate from the desktop version to
mobile?
Like, will I be able to do that mobile? Will it?
I would hope so.
I
would. I would.
Yeah.
There was I remember I'm thinking of it like in these movies that I watched. It was like an X-Men movie that was basically a comic book panel that was just going through the different comic book scenes. I think it was X-Men Unlimited or something.
Yeah.
But I would really like to see that, to see it be kind of cinematic, and it would definitely make comic books more accessible to people because I know comic books are expensive.
They are.
And libraries don't always carry the most recent comics, and they don't carry all the comics. And if you want to get into a superhero, that's at least like 10 books just for an introduction on that superhero.
And there's these like little interactive comics and stuff like that show like gravel coming up. They got little animated stuff. I think that would also be cool if they do like a couple little small series based on that too. That would get a lot of people going. I just like that they're concentrating all this in one little platform. It's really good.
One thing I think would have been cool, even though they're probably not going to do it, if they charge a little bit more, so maybe like $15 to $20 extra, you get comics at least a month after they come out on the service. And that's like another tier that a person can do.
Just comics, period, or like certain issues, or
maybe the new comics that come out. So
I would think they would probably like go in a direction where if you have the subscription service, you'll get discounts on like all the issues for a comic series.
Maybe because I know Marvel Unlimited, they upload their comics 6 months after they come out. So that's what I'm talking about far as that is a while. So I'm saying if it's like a month after, or maybe like 2 months, I'll say something like that at like another charge.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it could work because a lot of people don't have access to their comic book shops.
Right.
But also a lot of people don't have money that they can budget to buy comics every month.
Right.
So if the DC Universe service can give them those comics just at a later date, maybe that'll be something that's really interesting.
Later date, extra little price, nothing extreme, where you get all the comics that come out in that term.
Because I know each comic is like... I know when DC did Rebirth, their comics were $2.99.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of creeping up to like $3.99 and so. And a lot of people, they can have easily like 10 comics in their pool. So you're paying like $40 a month. Yeah. Which I know it's not
attractive.
It's because there are other things that you probably have to budget. So I don't know. I just think for me that would be cool because I would like being able to read the new stuff.
Right.
Even though there's a lot of the old stuff that I want to go through. Like I want to go through the Brian Azzarello Batman stuff because I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Just be money conscious, people.
Yeah.
Don't go bankrupt over some comics. Papers.
Another thing from the article says, DC Universe homepage will present its offerings in a similar ways to Netflix and Amazon Prime, with a featured banner spotlighting the most noteworthy shows, movies, and comics right up top, followed by the DCU equivalent of a queue or watch list, which will list the titles you are most recently watching or reading so that you can pick up where you left off. The service will also support offline viewing and downloads.
Ooh, I love offline viewing and downloads.
I do too.
Yeah.
I remember traveling back and forth to college. Like I would always have shows like just downloaded so I can watch it on the ride there.
If you're commuting on a train or...
I hate train rides. Oh. Well, I don't hate it. It's just if you don't have anything, you're just sitting there.
Yeah, you're just sitting
and,
there. Or
I've taken a train
too, and...
I've taken a train where it's just 4 hours, and like you have to find something to do, and I don't want to fall asleep. I don't like falling asleep in public places.
Yeah,
but I think that's pretty cool. Definitely having offline viewing and downloads. I think that's also cool for reading, because if you're on a train ride and you want to download like Flashpoint, or you want to get Jeff Johns' entire like Green Lantern run, which I think and I hope is going to be on the service because I want to read all of that. I think that's pretty cool if you're able to download it.
Right?
Is it too recent for it to be on there? Like
that series, I want to say the Green Lantern series came out in 2004, 2005, and it kind of led into the New 52.
Yeah.
And then it led into Rebirth. That's like 14 years of material.
It would definitely be in there.
Yeah.
I feel.
No. Well, yeah. I think it's going to be in there. I think the New 52 stuff will be in there. I don't think anything Rebirth to now will be on the service.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think things before Rebirth. Maybe. Well, yeah. Depending on when they come out. Because I could see them putting like a few issues of Rebirth on there.
Yeah.
But not like the entire series.
Surprise me.
Yeah, because Rebirth series are still going on. Like some series are in the 50s now.
They still want people to buy the physical comics so that they can prove that people are, buying these physical comics.
Well, maybe this will encourage people to buy physical comics.
Yeah,
maybe they'll get into something and they're like, I fucking love this series. Let me buy it and put it on my bookshelf.
Yeah.
Everybody gets that bookshelf fever a little bit.
Now, another thing that we were talking about in the first episode of the podcast that was actually pretty cool was the idea of having comic book characters and then listing their material.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, like a whole biography. Like if you run into somebody or, we're talking about somebody and you don't really know about them, like Mr. Miracle, for instance, you can pull up his information on the DC Universe app and you can read all his information, all his abilities, his issues, some of the issues that he's in, from the popular issues and stuff like that.
Right.
But to do that for their whole catalog, I wonder if they'll be done by the time because they have a lot of characters.
It's kind of like how Amazon does that with a few of their shows. Like if you hover over the screen while you're watching the show, it'll pop up actors' information and actors' IMDb, and like I think they can do that if they just
they can look into APIs for like the Wikipedias or the Wikispeak, and they already have all the information there,
and then
so
put
just
their
be transferring
their own link to those comic books within their own service.
And if they're wrong, then they correct.
They can correct it.
Well, the only reason why I mentioned it is because his next quote says beneath that. So I'm assuming it's beneath like the currently watching, viewing, reading, and all that. Mm-hmm. It says beneath that the platform will highlight trending shows, films, and comics, and offer curated collections, quote unquote, that are grouped around a similar theme. For instance, a Joker collection might include a number of comic books featuring the villain's most memorable stories, alongside selected episodes from shows like Batman the Animated Series and Justice League, and movies like the 1989 Batman and 2008's The Dark Knight, basically giving users an overview of each character's greatest hits. So I think that's something that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because if I want to learn more about a character like Mr. Terrific, then, I'll be able to see, oh, he's in these episodes for the Justice League cartoon. Or these are what DC considers his best books, Stuff like that, I think that's really cool. And I know, Maul, you mentioned the encyclopedia aspect. This next quote says, DC Universe will also host an expansive encyclopedia. Oh. Cam Fowson, who I believe was there during the DC Universe experience at Comic-Con, he likened it to a cross between Wikipedia and a character profile.
Perfect.
While users won't be able to modify entries like they can on Wikipedia, the service will offer polls and opportunities for the audience to share their opinions on aspects of the characters, with the possibility that their submissions will be highlighted on a character's page.
Come through, DC.
There will also be a forum to encourage fans to connect with other users, which Kim Fowson hoped would function like an old-school message board, allowing visitors to engage in lively debates in a friendly environment.
Not with these people. It's not even just DC people. Marvel people will buy that subscription to come up in this chat to tell them about themselves. Like,
let's not.
It is going to get rowdy. Marvel. I'm telling you what they're going to do. Look at them on Twitter. You think they're going to behave themselves on the actual DC Home app?
God. Well, first of all, if you're a DC hater and you love Marvel, you're not paying $7.99 a month or $7.49.
You would be surprised.
Or $74.99 annually.
Like how strong.
Either way, you're going to be outnumbered in there. People are going to be like, "Okay, you're bringing up."
But you're here though.
Yeah.
But you're in my app. Get out.
I'm still getting
some people do buy products of things they hate just so they can destroy it. So it's not that crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But like I said, I like being optimistic. The forum stuff, I probably won't interact with.
I would.
It might get a little bit.
I don't know.
Especially if I see something especially if they're talking about something I'm passionate about, like Darkseid. Of course I'll jump in. But it might be just like one of those things, like when I go on my news sites and I read and they start talking in the forums, I'll just read for information. Yeah. I won't actually go talk, I'll just read it though. But I think it's cool that they're actually trying to get the people in the app involved in doing things. Yeah, like they're not just going to put their content out and that's going to be it. They're creating polls, they're creating forums.
They were just going to put their content.
That's what I was thinking too, but they're really surprising me by putting on this crap that I actually want.
They want to build
We haven't been getting that as of late with entertainment industry. We haven't been getting what we want. We've been getting stuff.
Well, one of the taglines for DC Universe was read, watch, and connect. So they want to build a community for their people. You don't just want to, it's like Netflix. Imagine having a comment section under every episode or something.
I think.
I
don't even know where that would even go.
Yeah.
It'll just be like 5 comments. I don't think... I never had the urge to comment under a video after I watched it.
Some people might be like, this episode was really great. And,
oh my God, I love
it. Or like, did you notice this at this scene or something?
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan so hot.
Especially for like...
stuff, that's all I'd see. But I don't... Yeah, I can see like for the scary movies that they would give like their deep input. Like, you would probably be one person who does like, did you guys see that in the corner? Then nobody replies for 3 weeks.
Oh my
gosh,
know
Hulu has a comment section.
Yeah, they do, but it's like linked to Facebook.
Yeah, no.
You have to have a Facebook account in order to do that.
So, I think all this news, it gets me more excited.
I'm very excited
ready for
this.
Bring it to me. I'm
because
glad I pre-ordered it.
You got comics, you got
you
TV.
already pre-ordered?
Oh yeah, I'm done. It's checked in. I'm already a subscriber.
So you got 3 free months already.
When are they going to charge you?
I was already charged. It was pending.
Oh, they took it out?
Yeah. So when the service comes up, I'll just be able to log on and be like, boop.
I'm gonna have to wait till I get paid.
I understand. I mean, do what you can.
Yeah.
Because
we're not telling you.
I
break
just
the bank.
know I'm ready when you really.
I'm just saying.
And one thing, sorry DC, if you're listening, get your servers together right now.
Ooh, if there's a crash on the first day.
It's a crash on the first day of anything.
Amazon Prime, like their Prime Day.
They were closed for like half the day.
Their day.
Their day spilled into the next day. Like, get your servers together, DC, because you're going to get hit.
Yeah. I hope they're ready for this. Because we're excited. We are ready to do this.
That's why they're doing the beta. Because they want to make sure that people are able to test the service and give their comments. Now, honestly,
I better get into that beta with
my wish list for the beta, you know how sometimes like movies have like pre-screenings or something like that.
Yeah.
Where they ask for your opinion. My wish for the beta is that they release at least the first episode or the first 2 episodes of Titans. Oh. So we can watch it and kind of get a feel for it.
Okay.
I don't think they would do that.
Yeah.
It's too wishy-washy because...
If they do, there will definitely be...
He leaned into the mic, y'all. I can't see.
If they do, there will definitely be a review episode.
Listen,
we would do it.
I don't get into that beta and I found out that they had the first 2 episodes out, I'm going to be pissed. Especially because I gave y'all my money already.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because it's like...
That's why I don't think they do it.
$75 to pre-order. I need to see something.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't just want to go in there.
I'm fine with waiting. It's coming out, next month? I'm okay with waiting. But just
next month?
Is it next month?
It's August, right? No. What did they say?
It is August.
It is August, yeah. It's next month.
It's some point in August.
Oh.
It's really close, so I know that beta is going to be like 2 weeks.
I was thinking a hypothetical future in 2019.
Oh, no.
Oh, hell no. That's just coming out next month.
I'm ready. My credit card is already deducted.
Titans is coming out. It said fall 2018, so it's dropping soon. So my hope is... If they do the beta, I want to see either the first or the first 2 episodes of Titans. Because I just want to get a feel for the show. And I think that would be cool. If the show is good, I think it would be good for them to get press before the service actually drops. And because that trailer, however you see it, some people weren't feeling that trailer. Yeah. So if you get people that go on DC Universe's service and they're like, oh, Titans is actually good, I've just seen 2 episodes. Because it's like Netflix. You have people that get invited to watch like the first 6 episodes of a show for Netflix before it comes out. I think DC could do that. Maybe not the first 6 episodes. Although I'm not
against 6 episodes of a Netflix show. Who sees that?
Grace did for some of the Marvel Netflix shows.
Y'all better.
Grace Randolph, if y'all didn't know. But yeah, like some people see the first 6 episodes of a Netflix show before it comes out, and they put out reviews to either get people excited or so people can be like, well, maybe I didn't want to check out the show.
What do you guys think would be the future of Netflix and Hulu once Disney and DC's streaming services come out?
That was a whole topic we didn't even talk about. What? We can probably save that. Well, the Fox Disney.
Right, the Fox Disney merger. We were like, oh, there was no big news in the nerd world recently. Oh, nothing major, I don't think. Oh, what? Fox was bought out by Disney? Well, who cares?
That really escaped.
There's a headline saying that Star Wars Episode 9 will include Carrie Fisher, which I figured she'd be in there as maybe CGI or something. But you're saying
I would rather them do CGI now.
Well, it's like deleted scenes that you can just put in another movie. Okay. I think that's better. I don't want to see her CGI. I think that's disrespectful.
They did it well though.
They did that in Rogue One.
They came out way better than I thought. Now
that was younger Leia. That's not.
No. With Tarkin.
Tarkin was
General
CGI
Tarkin.
Too.
Yeah, in Rogue One.
He's not Carrie Fisher.
Okay.
Let me. He looked at her straight ass, man.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. He was a whole person, but no, because he's been gone longer. Carrie just passed away. But see, I don't want to see them do that.
I feel like they should have.
If it was like 20 years down the road and they wanted to reanimate Carrie, like okay. But she just recently passed. I don't want to see them do that because I feel like it's cheapening.
But I feel like they should have. And like this is gonna sound
or maybe just
bad,
keep her out
but
of
they should have kept her dead in the movie.
Yeah, just keep her out of it.
She was basically dead in space for a good minute or two, and then she came back onto the ship. I feel like that could have been a nice.
They wouldn't
ending.
have to like try to add her in with these deleted scenes,
and we would have understood. It would have been an homage to Carrie Fisher.
Just give her the respect she doesn't
I think,
to be in.
well,
I don't think.
I didn't want her to stay dead because that scene didn't sit well with me. So I feel like
the scene.
What scene when she
overall?
came back into the?
Well, no, the scene where it looked like she had died, and then before she used her powers to get back on the ship. I didn't want that to be the way she went out.
Oh, through a blast on that shit.
Right.
I mean,
and so I think the better way of doing
She
it,
could've
if they
died another
didn't,
way.
if they didn't have clips, the better way of doing it is to just put it in the opening crawl, and say that Leia is like gone somewhere, and just have it end at that.
Have the setting at
and
her
have her die
funeral
later
or something.
Yeah, something.
But
like
that's what I'm thinking, that the deleted scenes, if it's from episode 8, I'm assuming it's in the last act of episode 8. Which will make sense because these Star Wars movies, well, we've only seen it one time, but they start like almost right after the one that came
generally,
before.
yeah.
So if they're doing it again, then fine, use those deleted scenes, but make it work so that once she exits, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't want her to just be in a scene and then you flip the scene and then she's just gone and we don't get an explanation for why she's gone. Which is why I said just put in an opening crawl so you can explain it.
Marvel's Runaways premiere to make broadcast debut on Freeform. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, no, I think that's fine because the season's already on Hulu.
Yeah.
So they're just putting it on Freeform.
Oh, okay. I thought they were talking about the next.
No.
No,
Okay.
no, yeah.
They're just, it's yeah.
The Runaways was a pretty good show. I liked it. I think it'll fit in perfectly with Freeform and the kind of formats that they already have on that.
I heard Cloak and Dagger was pretty good.
Yeah, I have to watch it too.
I'm gonna watch that.
Like, see, Marvel does have good shows, and that's what I hope for DC.
I guess that's the dessert. Like,
That's the dessert. Our little.
that's the dessert. Our little. See what else is there. I guess in the future we'll have other episodes depending on the topics. Like it probably won't just be news stuff. It'll probably be movie reviews, of course, specific topics that could get a little lengthy. Maybe the more controversial topics that we wouldn't put in a normal episode, like the James Gunn stuff and the Rian Johnson stuff, Dan Harmon and all that.
Opinions, commentary.
All right, guys. This is me signing off. This is Jamal, Awkward King, at Awkward with a U, and then King. WURD. If you didn't know what I was talking about.
You can do it.
Not
again,
AU. No, it's fine. It's quirky. It fits the awkward title. I don't think it was too cringy. It's probably very cringy.
I don't think so. It's different. It's unique.
Yeah. Awkward King.
Thanks for listening, everybody. This is Oscarp at OPMI1 on Twitter, OPIMI1. Thanks for being with us for however long this podcast has been, and we hope you listen to the next episode. Stay tuned for our review of Mission Impossible 6.
It's not going to be as long as the San Diego one. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Siah. You can find me at SiahJ_Andre. And if you wanted to follow the NerdSpice podcast Twitter, you can find that at NerdSpice Pod. We also have a YouTube channel that's going to have the podcasts on there eventually. But you can definitely find that on YouTube. We'll link to it and stuff like that.
And it'll have closed captions for...
Yeah.
Accessibility purposes.
It'll have closed captions for accessibility purposes.
Yeah, we're working on the transcripts right now. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. It has been a spicy experience.
We hope you've enjoyed the meal.
Please leave a tip for your servers.
And we hope to see you again sometime.